What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from the Elysian Brewing Company, and they are out of Seattle, Washington, and this is their Dank Dust. So on the label, they are calling this one an ale with natural flavor. They also call it an IPA, although I believe this is a double IPA, and that's because it comes in at 8.2% alcohol by volume, 73 IBUs at the time of review. I don't know exactly how old this bottle is, but it does have an experience by date of July 24th of 2022, and we're just over 2 weeks away from that date, so we're coming in right under the gun, and typically breweries will give, 90 to 120 days, so I'd imagine it's somewhere around 3 months old. Not super fresh, but they say experience by July 24th of 2022, and I'm going to do that, so we should be okay. Anyway, I want to give a shout out to a friend of mine and fellow beer tuber, Steve, aka Beer Man, for the inspiration for me picking this one up, because I saw him do a review of this one by the time you see this video about a month ago, and he was really enjoying it. He said it was one of the most dank IPAs he's ever had. He said it basically huge marijuana tones in both the nose and in the taste, and then I saw a couple other people on Tap check it in, and they said the same thing. Now, I am not a user of good old Mary Jane. I'm actually not able to with the current medication I'm on. Had open heart surgery in 2021 and blood thinners and stuff. Nothing to play around with, can't have it. But, I advocate for it. At the same time, I enjoy it when it comes to aromas of beers, taste of beers. I like that big dank component. Will this be overkill? I don't know. If it honestly tastes like marijuana, that might be weird. But I don't know. I'm here for it. Now, when it says ale with natural flavor, I'm kind of skeptical because they put some... Just stop me in my tracks talking. Hard to do, as you guys know if you follow the channel. I talk, I quack, I say a lot of shit that doesn't matter. That smells like the most skunky, like it's so skunky cracking that bottle. It is honestly ridiculous how much that just smells like weed. Like to a T. Holy shit. Let's get in the glass. What the fuck? I guess they weren't lying. I did not anticipate that. Like, you'll watch other beer tubers and you'll have friends check stuff in on tap. Until you experience a beer, a lot of times you don't really know like exactly if you're gonna get what they get, if maybe a little bit of taste there, if they're gonna not really get much out of that, actually a little taste. A lot of times you just, okay, they said this, and then you get, you're like, it's not as much or it's more, whatever. Yes, I can't wait to get my nose into this, because when I crack this, crazy. But that has this really nice golden orange color. It's hazy. You can see a little through it a little bit, so it's not super turbid, but you can, has nice chill haze in addition to just a haziness from the beer. Had about a finger of a bright white head that was soap sudsy, is now dissipated to a thin film. But yeah, that looks like a kind of like an old school IPA. Let's get a nose. Okay. So it's still there. That skunkiness, that weed aroma, definitely still there, but it's dialed back a little bit. When I crack this, it was like a skunk just sprayed you, or you just got your nose into some weed. Like it was that, like you just opened up a bag and you're like, holy shit, right? That's exactly what I got when I cracked that open. Not as much in the nose now. It's there, but then I'm getting like really juicy, like stone fruits, like mango, peach, apricot, like big, juicy, really sweet stone fruits. Orange, grapefruit. So there's a nice citrus blast, and again, this is sweeter. Like it smells like those juicy, fruity characters are gonna be more sweet than like zesty or pithy. It has that kind of nose to it. But yeah, that dankness is there still. It's kind of mixing in. It's honestly, the nose is weird right now, because when I cracked that and I got that big blast of that skunk, I was anticipating that would be the predominant note here, and it's not. It's kind of blending in with those fruits, so it's like a skunky, like kind of fruit, and people will be like, I don't know. I'd imagine with all the different weed strains, and, you have like fruity pebbles and this and that. Maybe that's kind of what they're going for, like a specific, like fruity kind of weed strain. I don't know, but in the beer and in the nose here, it kind of smells like what that would entail. Yeah, it smells pretty good. It just smells kind of fucking odd, honestly. So let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks to Steve and all my Untapped friends for the inspiration. Let's see if this is good or not. Ooh. So there's remnants of that. Wow. It says a really big bitterness to it. like a really big earthy, dank bitterness. But again, it doesn't taste like weed, okay? It smelled like it for sure, especially when I cracked open the bottle. It's died down from when I've cracked open the bottle to when I smelled it to the taste. If I was doing this just on taste alone, this reminds me of a big, resinous, bitter, West Coast style double IPA, like old school, like talking, 10 plus years ago. This is just crazy how dank and bitter this is. The body on this one's like higher side of medium, lower side of full, has some heft there for 8.2%. The mouthfeel, it's crisp, it's spritzy on the palate. It's smooth in general, but has nice carbonation, let you know. This is not a new school New England style IPA. It's not super creamy and luscious and pillowy and all that stuff. This is more old school. The taste, where to begin? This is a fun, interesting beer, and it's also pretty solid. I'm not loving, I'll just say this right now. I'm not loving it, but I'm enjoying it to some degree. So right at the forefront, probably because it's a bit older, get a little bit of like a malty sensation, like a bready, like white bread type of thing. It's omnipresent underneath the palate, kind of propping up all the other flavors, but definitely there. I also get that orange and grapefruit I was talking about, but again, in the nose, it was more sweet. In the taste, it's more zesty, pithy, has a bitter kind of like almost like citrus oil kind of component to the front of the palate. As it passes through, the apricot, the mango, the peach, the stone fruits, they're sweeter. They hit about a third of the way through the palate, we'll say, almost to the halfway point. So fruity up front, not overly sweet. The citrus fruits more zesty, pithy, hop oil, or like the oil of those fruits. Whereas the stone fruits are more sweet and like saturated and a nice sweetness, like over ripened. Middle of the palate is where the dankness comes in, and it hits. And it carries on to the back of the palate, and it is dank, it is earthy, it is bitter. This has almost a full-on bitterness for me on the back of the palate. It's slightly dry, so there's a nice balance between the dryness and the sweetness of this beer, but then the bitterness comes in and just dominates, just like it's like, oh, it's cool balance, right? Get the fuck out of the way. And it's just on the back of my tongue, on the back of the throat, it's just saturated and covered my palate in bitterness. And I don't love super bitter beers. I've always said, I shouldn't say always, I've always said, the last 2 or 3 years, I've welcomed more bitter beers, especially when it comes to like New England style. Some of them can be way too sweet. I want a bitterness. I've come to appreciate more West Coast style IPAs because I do enjoy like a nice, firm, moderate bitterness. This might be a little bit too much for me, just to be honest with you. I think the flavors are very interesting. Again, there's remnants of that like weed character on the palate, but very slight. It's more of just a generic dank, earthy, resinous kind of bittering hop component. The 8.2%, I can't tell you this is 8.2% other than maybe the body would indicate it. No real warming in the chest, which is cool. Hides the alcohol pretty well for 8.2%. Overall, though, like for what they're going for, and again, I'm not drinking this super fresh. I'm drinking it now, just over 2 weeks away from the experience by date. So this isn't even super fresh, and I don't think this is all that bad or anything. Like I think this is, you need to like weed for sure to enjoy this beer, like 100%. But if you don't, and you're somebody that doesn't partake or somebody that hates it, then I don't think this is beer for you. But I don't think you'd pick it up kind of knowing what they're going for. They actually have, yeah, they do. Sweet hop flavor oscillating with aromas of lush grapefruit, okay. Mango, yeah, and orange, okay. Backed by an extra herbal kick for added freshness. Yeah, I guess I should have said herbaceous more than dank. I guess I could, because obviously weed, herb, for sure. So let's just say that back of the palate's more of an herbaceous dankness, resinous bitterness from the hop. For me, though, I don't want it that bitter. Like, I would like this to be taken down like half. If this was like a firm, moderate bitterness, I would like this a lot more than I currently am. It's not bad. I'm actually enjoying it to some degree. It's just, this is a one and done for me. I'd never buy it again, but I do enjoy, this is a fun beer that's also solid. I've talked about this before about like, there's a lot of fun beers out there just like, it's fun, but it's not that great, or it's fun and it's delicious. It's kind of in between. It's fun, it's solid, it's enjoyable. Nothing I'm going to write home about though. That said, I'm going to give it a solid score because I think it deserves it, but don't be afraid to pick this one up. I guess by the time you'll see this, it'll be right around probably the experience by date. I don't know if they're doing different batches of this. I don't know how often they release this one. So yeah, anyway, Elysian's Dank Dust. I have no problems giving that a low 3.75. I'm going to go with 3.65. I think that's a fair score for this. Can't go much higher just based on personal preference like all my reviews are. But if you're somebody who is curious about this one, give it a go. What do you got to lose? Especially if you can buy a bottle, a single bottle. I think I paid like $2.29 for that. I want to say it was $13.99 for a 6-pack in my neck of the woods. I think these also come in 4 packs of 16-ounce cans. But like if you can get a single can or bottle, give it a go. Availability, I have no idea. I don't know where Elysian gets distribution anymore. We don't see the full range of their stuff. We see stuff here and there. So if you do see this one and you're curious, like I said, pick it up. But you might not see this one. Who knows? I don't know. Anyway, if you've seen this one before and you've had it, post in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Did you think it gave you, huge, weed properties? Was it over the top? Did you think it was a little bit more subtle like I did in the taste? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? This is why I review these beers. And again, I saw Steve's review, saw some people on Tap talking about it, so I wanted to give it a go myself. And here we are. And like I said, the alcohol 8.2%, not over the top, which is nice. So appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.